once a girl did break up with me, and I've talked about it on the podcast before. And instead of like taking the breakup well, I drove 5 hours to her house.
Are you joking?
No. Asked if I could experience a few more moments with her. And I don't think she wanted to take me back, but I was going to try. She's like, well, my family's going to church in the morning. You can stay the night upstairs and go with us in the morning. But that's it. I was like, okay, I will take that. And then during the night, I didn't sleep and wrote 16 pages back and front of why we should still be together. And
It's like Friends. It's like that episode of Friends.
yeah, that's what we are now.
I don't know if someone wrote a 16-page letter on why they should. Did you cheat on her or something?
No.
You just broke up?
Yeah.
I'm just probably tripping balls. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, about my lifelong trauma.
Yeah.
Sorry.
About the worst heartbreak you've
Was
ever
it really? Why
experienced.
haven't I heard about this?
I like to keep things close to the chest. I have a long, as the kids say now, lore about me that's really fun to hear about. So if you have any questions, honestly, I'm open book.
That was really cute.
Do you still have it, or did you give it to her?
I don't know.
She still has it.
She
The
still
16
has
page.
it.
Can you ask her for it so we could read it the same
Yeah.
day we do my Disney one?
I think she found it the other day.
Really?
When I say the other day, probably 3 years ago. You gotta understand, when I say the other day, it could have been 3 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, I want to know.
Like, what's the most romantic thing that's ever like happened to you?
Not that.
I was also 18, I think, maybe 19, maybe 20, around there. And I didn't understand
You have no
emotional
concept of
maturity.
time.
So we were long distance and it wasn't really working out. And I didn't know how to break up with her. So we just kind of let the messages between each other get longer and longer distance. The communication was awful. And I think it was a good reason that she said farewell to this good young fellow when I probably should have broken up with her sooner. And then I think once the branch snapped, I was like, well, now she'll never be a part of my family tree. And that scared me a bit. So I think
So you drove 5 hours and
Yeah,
wrote
I
a
think-
16-page.
yeah. I think I lashed out
It's
with
really
love.
romantic.
It is, but I should have done better. I should have done better earlier.
I don't know if someone wrote me a 16. Guys, fellas, if you're out there, if you want to write me a 16-page essay,
Oh, what you filled in those 16. Like, was it just a bunch of memories? Was it all just how you felt?
Part of it was memories. A lot of it was future.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand who I'd be without you. Like, I don't understand.
Do you still think about her?
Not in that way.
But does she come up in your brain? I still think about my high school
She's
boyfriend
still like,
sometimes.
I mean,
Well,
she's still like not like a great friend. Like, she's still a good person, not like a great friend that's like close to me. But she's
I
still
know,
like
but
a
I'm
friend.
saying, do you like?
Was she your first love?
She was definitely close to.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I would say that that's pretty normal.
But does she like pop up in your mind sometimes? Like
Small
I
memories.
literally think I still think about my high school boyfriend every day.
What was his name? What was your favorite memory with him? Like, what memory is kind of frequent? And that doesn't mean you're still in love. It's just like, oh, this was
yeah.
a nice time in my life.
At my sweet 16, we slow danced, and that was like the first time I ever slow danced with someone.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sweet.
I'm sure someone will send him this clip.
Well, so I wrote the song about.
He mixes up weekends with different girls. Like,
No. I wrote the song about the 2 times that I had been in love, like at the point when I had written that song. So it's like the first one's at 16, the second one's at 19.
Okay,
right?
got it.
But
16.
yeah, 16, first love. And so like my favorite memory from that I put in the song where it's like, cause we could lay for hours, but you promised me forever. Like I remember how your eyes looked under all those colored lights that we taped to my ceiling.
yeah,
And
but he did with AI.
I didn't do it with AI. I wrote that.
From the heart sack.
No, I've heard it. I like it. And I gave you your flowers.
It's so weird to think about, like, I'm getting emotional, but like people in your life that like just aren't there anymore. Like I told you this. I've told everyone this. I like try not to burn my bridges. I try to keep everyone in my life that I've talked to and stuff. But like my high school boyfriend, like I don't talk to him. I wish him a happy birthday every year.
And well, guess who's here?
That would not be funny.
Imagine that's the reason
Stop.
Skylar made me sit over
Stop.
here and left that seat empty.
Stop it. I would literally like, there's no way he'd agree to it. I've asked him to like film content with me and he just doesn't respond.
So my high school girlfriend, I liked her for so long, even since middle school. I always had an affinity for her for whatever reason. It felt like if we were in a room, like very strong magnets were pulling us together, and neither of us really knew why we're getting closer and closer. And we'd always, end up in fantastic conversation, and the world would kind of drown around us.
Okay.
And
I want to cry.
I know.
What the?
and I was pursuing her, and she had a very tumultuous relationship before that really put some damage.
That vocab. You got to know.
She had a bad relationship
Okay.
before we started dating like a year before, and she's very scared to jump into something else, especially with someone who's such a good friend.
Wait, sorry, what?
What?
Especially?
Yeah, especially.
You said especially.
There's
no X in especially.
Oh, I'm pouring my heart out.
No, I thought about it too.
I know. I was like fucking itching.
Hi. Milk, pillow, just fucking.
Especially.
It's just kind of funny that she corrected me after not knowing a pretty common word.
That's not a common word. What the
Tumultuous?
fuck? Tumultuous?
That's pretty common.
No, it's not. I've never heard it once in my life. Alyssa, have you? Back a girl up.
Okay, but anyway, so I was pursuing her for a long time. I remember sitting outside of her car after a tennis trip, and I kind of was just like, I think we need to be together. Like, the math is all there. And then she just kind of let me down slowly, and just like, this isn't right for me. And I remember a single tear dropping onto her leg. I still remember to this day. And time went on, and I could see her mood slightly changing towards me, but I never thought we'd be something. And then one random day, I'm sitting at my house, and she texts me, and she's like, "Go to your car." I was like, "Okay." So I go inside my car, and there's this old school GPS, and there was a pre-written destination in it, and it just said, "Follow me."
Are you joking?
I'm
Is this
gonna-
real?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna fucking cry. I'm
Are
tearing
you
up.
joking?
I swear.
I've never
And
heard
Is
this
this the most
story.
romantic thing that's happened to you?
Probably. I get in the car, and I take it, and as I'm taking the turns, I can kind of see where it's going. It's heading to my favorite restaurant. So I pull up to my favorite restaurant where I've done all my memories, my birthdays. I go there with like any accomplishment. And I pull in, I get out of the car, and she comes out in like a dress and just one rose. And she's like, "I'm sorry it took so long, but will you be my boyfriend?"
No.
Yeah.
Are you joking?
No, I swear. And then, we go in, date for a year and a half, and we ended up that when I went back to try to get her, we went back to the same restaurant and had like the official breakup there. So a nice full circle moment.
Wow, you really said all your memories.
That's not real.
Oh my
That's
Are you
my
god.
life.
serious?
Yeah, I swear.
That's a book.
I don't know.
Jared, are
I
you
don't know
crying?
how.
That's
Yeah,
like,
I'm crying. That's the sweetest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, that's something that you only like hear about in movies.
That's why it's so hard to believe.
Alyssa's not believing it. I think I remember when I asked what's the most romantic thing that's happened to you. I was gonna say mine, but
You can't follow that. I mean,
There was also this other girl who I really, really liked, but she didn't like me back. This one didn't end up working out, but for whatever reason, she had like a affinity for Snapple. I don't know why. And you know how always has the Snapple facts?
yeah.
Her favorite place was the beach. So my big plan was I was going to take her to the beach and sit down. We're going to watch the sunset, and then I'd hand her a Snapple. And then she was going to take it off, and there'd be a custom thing of, "Will you be my girlfriend?" under it. But that one didn't work out. Oh my God. Grade from Las Vegas to South Georgia. So I went from being like one of the few white kids at my school, so I didn't know what like racism was. And then we moved to South Georgia, and they literally had a KKK rally in the town right when I got there. And I was like, "Mom, where'd you bring me? This is hell. This is terrifying." Like, they were wearing the white suits and everything.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
My God.
Scariest thing I've ever. I was like, "What's going on here?" I thought this was like 200 years ago, but it's like very much real.
Damn, that's insane to me. That is insane to me.
Yeah. All because my mom met a guy on eHarmony. And it's like, "You know what, Zach? Let's move 2,300 miles across to the East Coast. Let's
ended up
uproot
happening with
everything."
that?
Oh, it fell through because they met on eHarmony.
How long did they date though? I've
They dated
never
like,
heard-
I feel like a couple months. And then suddenly he's like in our house proposing. And I'm like, "Who's this dude?" She's like, "We're going to live with him soon." And I'm like, "Sick?" Like, "He's moving in here." "No, we're moving across the country." "Mom, I don't want to." "Well, you don't have a choice. You're in the 4th grade." And I said, "Cool." And then I didn't get to see my family for a long time. First of all, you are beautiful. And
Yeah, that was the first thing I said. Oh, wow, she's cute. Like, in a way, like, I do the same thing, and I'll never understand what it's like to, like, be like, "Oh, my skin tone doesn't look like hers." Like, it's just, It is definitely a very, very difficult thing to, like, go through. But I still compare myself to so many people online, and that's definitely a downfall I have. But
yeah, we all do.
yeah, we all do. Like, I think, and especially being a girl on social media, though, like, we're constantly just comparing ourselves to, like, "Oh, this girl, like, has a bigger butt or a smaller waist or prettier hair or bluer eyes or anything." And so I just learned to maybe, like, I'm still doing my best to, like, stop myself from doing it, but, like, I constantly do my best to remind myself that I'm enough, and that, like, I was made different for a reason, and that I, don't have double D's for a reason, and that I don't have a Kim Kardashian butt for a reason, and that I'm okay with who I am, and that, I don't know. I'm still learning how to deal with it and how to figure that out. But like, the more you remind yourself of how beautiful you are but it's like gotta come from you. Like, I don't need anybody else to like tell me that. It's just like, even if you don't mean it for a minute, it's like you constantly gotta remind yourself that I'm enough and I was made this way for a reason. But thank you for being so vulnerable.
And then to piggyback off that, she pretty much said what I wanted to say, but Jared showed me this one beforehand. I just wanted to write something on it. Theodore Roosevelt said, comparison is the thief of joy, which is like very true. Like, if you start comparing it, you're not going to be happy. And I feel like with social media, comparing ourselves to others at an all-time high, I do it too. I wish I was as successful as this person. I wish I was as good looking as them. I wish I was happier like them. But what you need to know is social media is fake. Everyone's putting on a fake smile when a lot of the time they aren't happy offline. My biggest advice is, when you're bored, don't fill up your time with looking at social media, because you'll just continue to compare yourself. So like you said, double down on what you're good at. Focus on what makes you happy. Are you an artist? You like to play tennis? Whatever your hobbies are, double down on that. Like, if you know you're good at something, double down on that. Like, I'm good at this. And like, that's enough. And I think at the end of the day, we're all that we have. Fall in love with what makes you unique, because that's what makes you who you are. And I think I'm going to get choked up. I think being your most authentic self is the best gift you can give the world. The world already has those other people, so don't try to be like them. The world needs you, your personality, your smile, your style, and being yourself is a gift to the world.
I'm gonna cry.
Dude, I'll cry.
And I love that little girl.
Oh my God.
But that's what I want to say.
I was gonna ask if you guys believe in soulmates.
No,
No?
I don't believe in soulmates.
Actually, I take that back. I believe there's
Well, okay. I think
Maybe.
there's a difference between soulmates and like the concept of the one, right?
Yeah.
Of like, I personally think, I don't know if there's necessarily a one. I think you pick, I think you have multiple soulmates and you pick a soulmate to like sometimes spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah,
you know?
I just wouldn't phrase it like soulmate, because I don't think anything's like predetermined. I would phrase it like there are probably 10,000 people on this earth that you are really compatible with, and then from that point on, it just depends on the person that puts in the most effort.
gotta make it all into logic, don't you, Zach?
But yeah, doesn't it kind of make sense though?
It does make sense. Oh, what your guys' biggest dreams and like aspirations were.
My biggest dreams and aspirations, to be happy and successful in whatever I choose. Like, I feel like if I'm happy, I'm successful. So
For me, I want to create a TV show / movie that I also like star in. Like, that's one of my biggest things. I also want happiness. Hate is usually, if you're talking about like online hate, it's quantifiable, I think. So like, if you see you're getting hate, but it's sparingly, it's like it's one comment here, one comment there. It's like,
it doesn't really bother me.
no, but like some people it does. So I think it's just seeing like all the positive before you see the negative. And then it's also seeing that it's recognizing that if someone's going to comment that, they're also hurting. So you have to kind of be empathetic and feel for them as well. And if you reach out to someone and be like, hey, it seems like something's wrong with you. It seems like you're hurting in some way. I know you left this comment, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to know what's going on in your life. They'll usually back down, and then you've gained like a friend or a follower instead of like an enemy. So try not to backlash with the hate. I would say just try to be empathetic with
Yeah.
people, because
Hurt people hurt people.
yeah, hurt
Just-
people hurt people.
It's a vicious cycle, unfortunately, but I tend to not look at the hate. I do my best to not look at it, but obviously sometimes it just is there and you can't ignore it. So yeah, I kind of go with what Zach says. I always prefer to spread love versus hate. So
And then the next thing, what was the second part?
how to maybe move on from a person you cared about a lot but has kind of left you and walked out on you.
Well, I think some people are in your life for a lifetime, and some people are there to serve a purpose. And sometimes that's just for a lesson to make you a better person. And if you can recognize that, it's like, okay, this person might have been bad for me. I had good memories with them, but I've got to let them go for me to grow. And I learned a lot from them that I'm going to carry on. And I love them. I love them at that time. But that love is going to stay in that time. And I've got to move on from that.
This last relationship question. Hey, Zach, Indiana, and Jared. I love
First.
your podcast. So I'm in the best relationship of my life, and I really love
Makes
this girl.
one of you
So what is your guys' advice to keep this relationship steady and strong? By the way, I'm 25% Team Zach, 25% Team Indiana.
Close,
and
Jared.
50% Team Jared.
For me, it's never forgetting the little things. It's like taking a step back at the beginning of the relationship. What would I do for this person? Like if I was still in the puppy dog stage, what would I do? And if you continue that, I feel like they'll definitely like the effort, because you find yourself in a place where it just gets to like a rudimentary consistency.
Yeah, like a routine.
It's
You guys get
so-
stuck.
Yeah, it's so easy
and
to
it's
get
just
complacent.
it's keeping things fresh. It's having like new restaurant every week. It's finding, it's always being interested in the
Yeah.
person you're with. Like just find ways to be interested, ask questions. Don't just
Yeah.
be complacent, because
Yeah,
it's like,
don't just be like, oh, what'd
oh,
you
I
do
have them
today?
now, so I don't have to put in the effort. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you got to keep them because this is your person.
Yeah, one of
Yeah.
my favorite things, like my mom told me, like one of her bosses, the thing that he has like with his wife and whatnot is that they both are like cinephiles, like they love movies, and so every week they have a specific date night where they go to a new restaurant and they watch a new movie, whatever's
That's
out that
cute.
week, right? And they hire a babysitter, whatever, but they do that and it's like that's their thing and they love it, and that's how it keeps it interesting.
Yeah,
for
that's
them.
what's good about like life partners that are long, because you'll fall out of lust, but if you're so interested in the person and their perspective on things,
never
like
fall out of
if you have
love.
the same habits and or it's the same hobbies, like that's, you can just do those together, and it's like you got your best friend
Yeah.
that you also get to put in bed, to put bluntly.
Right.
Needed an editor. Zach knew how to edit. So
So you guys only want to hang out with me when you need something, it sounds like.
Pretty
wow.
much.
no.
That's when I.
So
hang
we
out with him.
started. He started editing our videos, and then Indiana needed an editor.
Well, we met because we were kind of.
Well, Indiana was our first friend in LA.
Yeah.
So we've known Indiana about
Aw.
3 years, Zach 5 years. So actually, fun fact, Indiana met Zach before we ever did.
Yeah, in person.
It's
In
weird.
person.
In person. We met online, and then
They met online, and then we met in person after you'd been, because I needed an editor. They introduced us.
so the kind of this is what happened. Like I grew up watching YouTube and like wanting to be in LA and everything like that, and I felt like, I don't know, I just wanted to be a part of that life, even if it was like making merch for people or editing. Like I like just like the people that created things. So I thought my plan was, if I like create a merch company where it doesn't cost them anything and I can bring value to people, that's like a good way to like make friends with people that are doing things I want to do, and then eventually I can learn from them and hopefully do it myself. So I want to thank you guys for kind of bringing me to LA and helping me in my career.
No.
That's how we know each other. And then,
Because Zach's not nice to us.
what do you mean?
Zach's not nice
He
to
just
anyone.
picks on
That's
everyone,
not true.
but He picks on everyone.
Zach's my
because-
boy.
Thank you, Jared.
Yep. But I also want your guys' like input on the question itself, but also from your perspective of like, you'll see. Okay. Hey, I have a question for Jared. What do you feel, or like how do you feel about being the one that doesn't have much clout? And I'm not trying to make fun of you, but also Team Jared and Zach. The reason I brought this question up is because I wanted to get your
How do
guys'
we feel about it?
No, like your guys' perspective before you guys got your like fan base and following.
If they see me as a good enough person and they know that I'm not here for their numbers, because I never was, if they see me as just being a genuine friend, which is all I've ever cared about, then they'll see past me not having millions of followers. And then it came, which is amazing, but still, they still know I'm the exact same person. But
Do you have
Zach,
any input?
he knew me back then.
I've never valued myself based on a number. So, and I would never value someone else only solely based on a number. I understand the opportunities that come with it. And obviously that's why you work towards things, because my goal is to do entertainment, and with entertainment, it's easier if you have a following. So that's why I work towards it. But I'd rather hang out with someone I'm really close with 5 followers than someone with 5 million who I cannot stand to be around. So I don't care. I only judge you on your character, not on, because you don't know how you got your millions of followers. A lot of people in LA are rich and their parents got them there because they can pay for collaborations. They can pay for this. And then me, I started a merch company so I can meet people in the industry so I could continue to work my way up because I had zero money. Like nobody starts at the same starting line. So you got to understand like where you are. And like, even if you are rich and you're able to like skip past everything, that doesn't mean you're a bad person, but you do need to recognize that you had such an easier start than everyone else. And don't put people down, because it's like, if I had millions of dollars to put behind me when I was 15, I'm pretty sure I'd have the same opportunities as these people. So
100%. It just depends on how you start and how easy it is at the beginning.